G'day team, this is Arjay Martin, and this is Arjay's TINLA episode 157. TINLA stands for This Is Not Legal Advice and Nor Is It. So the purpose of this particular video is I'm showing events that occurred on the 1st of July 2021. There was a man who has a face mask exemption, and during a snap lockdown he went to a particular shop to purchase something, and then apparently all hell broke loose, so to speak. And that person contacted me because I was in the area at the time and got me to go down there. All I heard was something on the phone like, come to blah blah place, the police are coming, or something like that. So I wasn't even sure what it was about, but I went down there, and then for his protection started filming, and then also, you know, the protection of anyone involved, and to basically witness scenes and record it and, you know, show what happened. So basically the only alterations to the video, besides I cut a couple of seconds off the start of it, just when I was walking to someone, because, you know, what's the point of having a camera twisting around and just shaking when I'm walking, that kind of thing. But besides that, I have silenced a couple of little parts with someone's name, their medical conditions, etc. But the person was arrested, and you'll see that in the video. I also will include at the end of the video some references to things that I'm talking to the police officers, such as Dr. Jeanette Young, where she went on TV and basically said, you know, if you have a mask exemption, you know that you have a mask exemption, you don't need to go to the doctor to get one. You know, it's good enough for me, it's good enough for everyone, that if you genuinely believe you have a mask exemption, then don't wear a mask, and people don't have the right to harass you, that kind of thing. Also, I'll include maybe just section 47 of the Statutory Instruments Act 1992 Queensland, which clearly shows that in order for in this case the COVID directions to be lawful and enforceable, they must be gazetted in the Queensland Government Gazette, which is a government newspaper. That, you know, you have this concept of notification. You even had that before there were statutes to say that it had to be notified within a common law. So I'll include that as well. And then also please note that I did just create a fundraiser where I'm asking people to please help me. I have, you know, how can I put it, a terrible situation before me where basically I need legal funds to really to continue to not be destroyed, that kind of thing. So I'll do a separate video on that, but I'm just putting an intro to this video. There may be certain allegations within the video. They are only allegations, and, you know, the opinion of whoever's speaking at the time. And yeah, so I will also include that GoFundMe link in the description of the video, maybe even put it on this video. And yeah, so please help. Please enjoy the video, and like, share, subscribe, or not enjoy it if you like, but, you know, hopefully you get something out of it. Okay, thank you, bye. So what's happening? Okay.
Hello, how are you going?
Oh, fantastic. How are you? Sorry? I am.
Awesome. What's going on, sir?
I went in to buy a windscreen wiper, and then this woman decided to tell me that I have no rights to be in the store without wearing a mask.
Okay. So
Which we all know is completely otherwise.
store policy.
It's not store policy. Store doesn't have the right to refuse service to anybody under any circumstances unless they are known valid.
That's not
Okay. Fine, whatever.
Their store policy
Look,
at the
so,
end of the day, they've changed their policy obviously
have
for
they?
masks.
Did they make it obvious to everyone? No.
Well, at the end of the day, they obviously asked you.
I don't
Did you
have to wear a mask.
I didn't
okay?
say that. That's
So
not.
I don't have to wear a mask, and for them to threaten me not to serve me because I wasn't wearing a mask is
Is
against
their
the law.
right?
It's
No,
not
it's
their
not.
right at all. It's
It's
against the
not.
law.
It's a store. Yeah. Like, it's a store that obviously has a policy that changed with the COVID, you know? They're allowed to change their policy to what they like. They are running a store and operating a business.
I don't mind.
Sorry?
I'll take that up through the court. I don't mind.
No, that's okay. I'm trying to speak to you, but every time you're speaking to you, you're speaking over me every time. I'm happy to listen to everything you have to say. And then
He contacted me. I do have a law degree, so he asked me to come. I don't have one.
Okay, can you go find one?
I'm exempt.
I beg your pardon?
I'm exempt.
Okay, do you have that paperwork on you?
You don't need the paperwork.
I'll grab your details then.
Yep.
You have no grounds to grab my
You're saying that
details.
you have an exemption, you need to...
So under section, is it 38 to 40, you do not need to provide proof. Dr. Jeanette even said the last lockdown we had that people do not need to be harassed, they do not need to provide the thing.
You fellas have an exemption, so we need to verify that.
No, you don't.
Well, I know.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Going
So,
against COVID lockdown guidelines.
so the guidelines are not law. Under section 47 of the Statutory Instruments Act,
Okay,
I said I
if
have
you're not
every
going to wear
right
a
not to wear a
mask
mask.
and you're
Can I
causing
ask
a
you a
commotion
question?
here, I suggest you...
I'm not causing a commotion.
Well,
I just wanted
you
to
are,
ask
the
you
both of you.
what it is.
I'm not.
Have you been here the whole
And what
time?
you thought
No,
today.
I got asked to come here just in case something happened.
Your version of
Who
it.
So-
asked you to come
Absolutely
here?
harassment. That's what it is.
Okay.
And who
So
is
I
this
just wanted
person
to
to
hear that
you?
every time.
That's right.
Saying.
Okay,
My apologies.
alright, look,
I tried to speak to the
we're
lady
going to
at the
make some
station,
inquiries.
but,
What's your
yeah,
name?
she-
I'm refusing it, so I say there's no grounds under the PPRA to provide that. There is no prima facie evidence of me causing an offence. All I have to do is disclose that I... Yeah, well therefore you have no right to my details.
You must wear a mask.
No, you don't. It's not even law. So under section 47 of the Statutory Instruments Act, it must be gazetted. It has not been gazetted. It is therefore not law. You can look up section 47 of the Statutory Instruments Act, please, on your iPad. You'll see clearly that exempted subordinate legislation must be gazetted in order for it to have any force of law.
Providing details and refusing to provide a copy of that exemption.
Well, there's no law that says we have to provide you details or information or even ID.
Well, look, you've come to the store and created a disturbance at the store.
I didn't
That's what we're
create the disturbance.
investigating currently.
I didn't create the disturbance.
You're right.
Well,
They
that's...
did.
Are you guys happy to wait here for a second while I go and
Certainly.
speak? Are you guys together
you
or
make sense.
like? Okay, so you know each other and you came to the store together, is that
No,
right?
Not together.
turn up because, yeah.
Okay.
I just got a message or phone call saying, can you come here? Police are coming. I didn't know what it was. No.
I'm not
Okay,
sure
so
if
just this
Income
gentleman.
Support asked you, but do you have
Sorry,
an exemption?
say that again.
I said I'm not sure if Income Support asked you, but do you have an exemption from wearing a mask?
Do they have any right to ask
No,
me?
I'm asking you.
Do they
you
have
an
any right to
exemption?
ask me?
I am asking you.
And once again, I will tell you, it is none of your business whether I do or I don't.
Okay, I'll take that
Okay.
on board. If you can
But
stay
I-
there, thank you. While we make
Fine,
some
go for your life.
Not legal advice, but I do suggest you say you have an exemption, if you do have
I
an
understand.
exemption. Yeah. They don't even say anything on their thing. They don't say about exemptions either.
Face coverings now required.
Yeah, but it doesn't say exemptions.
What about exemptions?
Oh, well, it should by law really say unless you have an exemption, despite the COVID restrictions are not law anyway.
And despite the fact that the Chief Health fucking Minister for fucking Queensland turned around and said you don't have to wear one.
Yeah.
But none
And-
of that makes any difference to these fucking idiots.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't speak aggressively because otherwise they can get you for breach of peace, and because you put your message across more effectively if you're not.
Oh, look, I'm fucking over it. They can arrest me. I don't care.
Yeah, they're probably going to arrest me too because I'm refusing
If
to
they do
provide
arrest
stuff.
me, then they'll go to fucking court and they'll be fucking sued. False
Fair enough.
arrest.
Yeah.
Under what circumstances are we being arrested? For what? I
Yeah.
come to the store peacefully to buy a fucking windscreen wiper,
Yeah.
and I get harassed and abused in the fucking store. That
Yeah.
doesn't give them the right to carry on the way they're fucking carrying on.
Another police car coming.
Good. I ordered a police car too.
Rip the paddy wagon probably.
Every night. That's all.
I do suggest saying that you do have an exemption though, if you do have one. Which of course the Chief Health Officer also said you don't even need to go to the doctor to get one. If anyone has things like PTSD or breathing problems or anxiety or whatever, then they are
I'm
exempted.
suffering with huge amounts of anxiety now.
Yeah, well, you don't need to tell them what the issue is. You just say that
I
you've
know
got
I
an
don't
exemption.
have to tell them anything.
It's
I don't
only
even have to provide
suggesting.
them any ID.
Unless they can get you for something like
Unless
breach
it's
of
a traffic
peace
stop.
or breach of
Well, I haven't
peace.
breached the peace.
Yeah, but if you be aggressive in your
haven't been
actions, then they can accuse that.
I haven't been aggressive just because I've made a statement.
Yeah,
Gee.
but anyway. Bye, girls. See you next year.
You'll have to drive two cars. Yeah, mate, the police are over there. Put your mask on.
Well, as a point of interest, were the police officers wearing masks when they were in the car together?
No.
Can one police officer arrest the other police officer?
I can review my footage, but I don't believe they were.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was quite amusing.
Anyway,
Just like these guys, when they turned up, they didn't have masks on either.
okay.
You see that?
No, but then I thought of it because they said something about masks or whatever, and then I was thinking, I wonder if they wore masks in the car together.
So should they arrest each other for not wearing masks? Or
You
should
can
they just give
ask
each other
them
fines?
politely. But anyway,
Politely, you know what politely gets you. Should be the sheriff's department as well.
insurance department.
Surprised they haven't got drug dogs too. That'd be interesting.
There you go, mate. What is it?
Annoyed.
Annoyed? Yeah. We're all annoyed at the moment. My name's Max, pleasant place anyway. My name's Max.
Hey, Max.
Hey Luke, how are you?
Senior Constable.
G'day.
Sorry, what was your name?
Luke.
Luke. How are you, Luke?
So what's the drama today?
I went to get a windscreen wiper for the car.
Yep.
And I get the shed harassed out.
Why is that?
Because they
of
thought they
these
have the
things?
right. They thought they have the right to do it.
Because of these? Is this what
Well, they're
it's all
demanding that
about?
I wear a mask, but I don't have to wear it.
Are you're all up aware with all the current restrictions in place at the moment?
I'm aware of the law, and I'm aware of my rights, and
Yep.
I have an exemption, and I don't have to wear a mask.
You have an exemption, do you?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a medical exemption, sir?
I do have a medical exemption.
What's
Would you
the...
like to know what it is?
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So I don't have to wear a mask, and I don't like being harassed for exercising my rights.
No, that's fair enough. No one likes to be harassed, but yeah, the
But
restrictions
then
are in
someone
place.
turn around and lie saying that I abused them, and I haven't abused them.
Could I give you some advice in relation to the mask? Because I have difficulty breathing with the mask as well. So sometimes I have to take it off because I can't breathe properly. So if you have a medical exemption and someone asks why you're not wearing a mask, just say I have a medical exemption.
Look, I've said that enough times. Right, I said I had an exemption. I don't have to go on with this
Did
bullshit.
you tell them
with
in
them.
the store?
I said I had an exemption. But I said whether I have an exemption or not makes no difference. They don't have the right to harass me. Well, that's assault under any circumstances.
Yeah, and then also if he told them they don't that he has an exemption, he doesn't have to disclose what those exemptions.
That's right.
So I don't mind
So
telling
are you guys together?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a friend of mine.
And
I just wanted some witnesses.
Yep. Have you been inside the store at all? Or
No, I haven't.
Do you have a mask? Or you can...
I have an exemption myself.
Yeah,
I'm not going to disclose that. I'm not going to disclose my name or details or anything like that. I don't have to. Even Dr. Jeanette Young, for the previous lockdown, she said all over the news that if you have an exemption, you don't need to actually go to a doctor. Please stop going to the doctor to ask for them. People have no right to harass you. If you have a medical exemption, then, you know, you have the right not to be harassed, and disability discrimination, etc. And just so you're also aware, the COVID restrictions are not even law. So if you want to look up section 47 of the Statutory Instruments Act, in order for exempted subordinate legislation, which is regulations not made by the Parliamentary Council, in order for them to have any force in law, they must be gazetted in a Queensland Government Gazette. They have not been gazetted, so it's not law at all. And, you know, I'm happy for you to look that up.
I can't fucking remember.
I'm not
that
going to
much.
worry about
I
arguing.
can't remember that much. Look, guys, my biggest issue is that since all of this bullshit started, alright, I have not worn a mask. I have not got sick. Alright? The worst thing that's happened to me is I've got a hoodie. Alright? So if I'm one of the high risk people, how come I'm not fucking doing it?
I get that, but it's not just about you yourself getting sick, it's about the transmission side of things as well, so you could potentially transmit it to other people
No, well, I don't see how you can do that, because like, what bothers me about all of this is like, for 80 years we've had flu vaccines and still we've got flu.
Bless you.
Right? It doesn't make any sense, does it? And for some strange reason, that in the last couple of years, no one's got the flu. How is that possible? How has no one died from the flu? But if COVID was as bad as what everyone says it is, where are all the dead bodies in the street?
Don't you know, every night the body collectors come out like they did with the Black Plague and, you know, carry them
Guys,
away.
I'm not trying to be fucking obstropolous or argumentative. I'm just saying, look, facts, all right? Absolute facts. I've got a lot of friends that are doctors. I've got a lot of friends that are lawyers. I've got a lot of friends that are police officers, okay? I'm not being argumentative. I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass. I'm trying to be for want of a better choice of words, a law-abiding citizen, but exercising my rights under the law. And yet I'm being harassed for exercising my rights under the law.
I mean, the other alternative is that you don't buy your windscreen wiper, isn't it, really? Like,
Well, why? Why should I be hindered by the ignorance of other
Because
people?
they do have the right to serve anyone they want. Or
It-
to not serve anyone they
It is
They
so.
don't have the right to abuse me and harass me.
want. No, nobody does. So-
Yeah, so I wasn't here obviously for what happened inside when I came here, just waiting out here, but they don't have the right to discriminate based on someone's disabilities. Their signs are also non-compliant. They must state, and you have to wear a mask, words to this effect, unless you have a medical exemption. They do not even say that. And it's like if someone goes in there and they're black or whatever, and someone says I don't serve black people, it's the same thing. And then someone could use the argument, well, you don't have to shop in the store that doesn't serve black people, go to a different store. But that's not the spirit of the law. It's not the law. It's actually prevented in terms of any discrimination legislation. You also have the Human Rights Act 2019 as another example. So all I know is that I got a phone call saying, can you please come to here, and heard something about police, and I didn't know what the hell was happening. So I just came down here, and then, that's why I'm here. So like I said, I didn't witness what went on in there.
So you're going to tase me?
I would want to do that.
Well, I don't know. It's just a question. I just got a high threshold of pain. I just want to like thinking, test it out. No.
Not a toy that we can use.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of adventure?
That would be on law.
You know those stupid tennis rackets? You put the batteries in and go around swatting flies?
Oh,
And
yeah.
they electrocute it?
Yeah.
You've got to be careful you don't get the fly stuck in there one day. Okay, like that. They fucking make me jump. I wonder if I can get Mr. Morris.
Oh, maybe.
Well, friends of the family.
I thought of another analogy. It's like if you go through like an airport or whatever and they tell you no metal or whatever, but you're in a wheelchair. So obviously they can't, you have to leave your wheelchair here and fly overseas and buy another,
I
wheelchair.
can see that we're never going to agree with the whole mask policy thing. I get that it's
Yeah.
frustrating. And nobody really wants. I hate wearing the thing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like wearing it.
Yeah.
So
And they
you're
aren't even
wearing-
effective.
Wearing it in what? In compliance, or are you wearing it because
I'm wearing it
you've
because I
been told
believe in.
don't wear it?
No, I believe in the reasons for wearing it. I just put up with the uncomfortableness of it, just because I believe in it.
Do you know how they came up with the idea of masks working? There were two things. There was a study done with, I think it was golden hamsters, or Asian golden hamsters, and seriously, and they had them separated with a mask, and they said that one didn't get COVID, even though they didn't even say the other one had COVID. And then also there was a hairdresser in California somewhere, and she wore a mask and she served lots of customers, and then her customers didn't test positive for COVID. So that's the whole grounds. When the virus itself is something like 1/500th the size of the pores or the holes in a mask, because you imagine it zoomed in, it's like a keeping mosquitoes out with a cyclone
If you can
fence.
smell a fart through one of those things, how are you safe from fucking COVID?
Yeah, well, people have even done things where they've gotten a vape things and they've put the mask on, they just blow it and it goes everywhere. And those molecules are heaps bigger than viral particles, yet it doesn't work.
But
So
common sense is not up for discussion here. It's
Yeah.
It's terrorism, that's all it is, whichever way you want to look at it. Control the people, make them do as they're told, take away their rights.
And then if the mask did work, then obviously those that wear masks don't have anything to fear anyway.
That's right. And there shouldn't be any fines for not wearing a mask, because everyone else should be safe, and there should be no need to have a law for not wearing a mask.
Our role is to encourage people to wear a mask. We're not trying to act in a way like.
So hang on, I just want to stop you there. If I was to encourage you to become a bank robber, or
That would be unlawful.
that would be unlawful. So what you're doing, trying to encourage anyone to wear a mask, is unlawful as well.
We're trying to take an approach where we're encouraging people to do the right thing. We don't want to.
Right, well, that would be probably the point where you just say nothing and say, do you have an exemption for not wearing a mask? That would be the only thing.
I
you could
explained
do.
that to you from the beginning. What you need to do.
But other than asking people to put on a mask, I mean, that goes against the law. It's the law of freedom. Right? The law of everyone's rights. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not being argumentative. It might sound like I'm being argumentative. I'm just trying to make a statement that didn't make sense. Why push the issue when it's not law?
Oh, hopefully tomorrow night we can all be over.
Yeah. Well, that shows another silly thing too. Why would the virus be contagious now and not tomorrow night? And why was it not contagious, 5 days ago? And also when they say, the lockdown's going to start at 6 p.m, like the other day, why was it not...
59.
Exactly.
Those are questions I can't answer.
Yeah, of course I'm asking rhetorically, just pointing out how
So
stupid
why
it is.
wasn't it put in place before the state of origin?
Yeah.
Wow. Why did everybody get to go to state of origin? Why?
There you go.
There's so much.
Why are bottle shops essential services but gyms aren't?
Alright, gyms shut.
How is this-
Oh, I don't know about this time, but they
Yeah,
previously
the
were.
gyms are shut.
Oh,
I tried
yeah.
to go.
Yeah, there you go. So people
How is it
often...
an essential service?
Because the website for my gym said it was open,
Yeah.
and I went and the manager was there and he said we're closed, and I said, well,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything in the news that says
Yeah.
gyms were closed, and your website's saying you're open, that's why I'm here. But
Yeah, but the point is that a lot of people are overweight or, have bad breathing or whatever, so a gym's actually
even I
helpful.
wasn't aware.
Yeah, and then also gyms, they wipe everything down with alcohol, whereas, bottle shop, how's that really essential?
Yeah.
Or
I
as
know why the bottle shops are
Desmond
essential.
said, why is a car shop essential? A retail one, not
I know
a
why the bottle
mechanic.
shops are essential.
Tax for the government.
Fucking hell. But on top of that, you bastards would go insane if you didn't get them a beer after fucking work.
Well, I reckon if they shut down the bottle shops,
Yeah, violence and
no, they
whatever.
clear it out like they do toilet paper
Oh, yeah.
for a lockdown.
There'd be more crime.
Massive sale.
Because people would be drunk and upset that they can't get any more alcohol. And they'd be going out rampaging.
Then also it shows another aspect that people go off where they don't know what they're talking about. Not saying you, but just generally that there's toilet paper shortages. What that was really caused by is with the toilet paper manufacturers, they have two lines. They have the consumer line and the business line, and because people aren't going to work and pooping at work and whatever, then they're buying the toilet paper. Sure, you get some people that are hoarding or speculating. Hey, look, I can sell a toilet paper roll for $10, but that's not the actual thing. But people have the assumption, including the media, and especially because of the media, that it's just all these hoarders are taking all the toilet paper, when all it is people would poop at work, 14 million workers, and now there's maybe 4 million workers, and so you've got 10 million people at home all day, so they get the commercial toilet paper. Yeah.
My biggest question would have to be, if the government was concerned about everyone's health, why haven't they banned cigarettes?
Yeah.
Why haven't they outlawed cigarettes?
Because they earn too much tax dollars from smoking.
So can you say that again, Val?
They earn too much in tax dollars from smoke, that's why cigarettes are banned.
So if you want to work out,
I think for every cigarette,
if you want to work out, you come up and use mine, Jim.
every cigarette, I think the government taxes at 99 cents or something like that.
Yep.
Wow.
Every cigarette's worth $1, the tax is about 99.
Every cigarette, the government gets a minimum of 95 cents a day.
And they destroyed the Australian tobacco industry too, but all they do is import it from overseas. So
The Australian motor industry. And just about everything else.
yeah. So what's happening now?
I believe that the other officers are looking at the footage
Oh.
to see what happened.
Oh, yep, no worries. Fair enough. He said, she said sort of thing. No worries.
So we'll start back in. If you want to head in, there's an empty package just on the bench there. And they'll be counting details of the existing equipment and then should be good to go. Very good.
While you're there, can you humour me please and look up the section that I said, Section 47 of Statutory Instruments Act? Oh, okay, fair enough. Because obviously, you know, if someone's a surgeon, then they should know, you know, the latest surgery stuff. But obviously, and it's not against you personally or anything, but obviously if the police force is fining people or whatever for something that's not even law, and it's not even enforceable as per the Statutory Instruments Act, then, you know, they shouldn't be doing that.
Section 47, what was it?
Statutory Instruments Act, Queensland, 1992.
Procedures after naming of a subordinate legislation of that Act sets out the principal arrangements in relation to requirements.
Yeah, so summary is, in order for regulations that aren't made by the Parliamentary Council, i.e. in this case made by the Chief Health Officer, must be gazetted before it takes effect. And then you've got Section 49 that goes on about afterwards that it has to be tabled in Parliament within 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah.
So it's not there.
Yeah, just look up Ausley or something.
What?
Say AUSTLII, then space, then S47 Statutory Instruments Act. QLD will do.
I wear it out.
Statutory Instruments Act, Queensland?
Yep. There's 32. Just click that and then go to the next sections.
Service.
So, table 42. Oh, 47 I mean. Boom, notification.
Yeah, that one.
See? Exempt subordinate legislation must be notified by publication of the subordinate legislation in a gazette. Then it goes on about exemptions which don't even apply. That's in other sections that defines exempt subordinate legislation as not being made by the Parliamentary Council, which writes the normal legislation. You might want to look up like Disability Discrimination Act Queensland or something.
That'll be interesting.
We also got Human Rights Act.
Disability Discrimination Act, Queensland?
Yeah, and you also got a federal one as well, but might just be called Discrimination Act in Queensland. Maybe?
Well,
Here you go, 92. Is that the federal one? So that's a federal one. So in Queensland, it's probably just called the Discrimination Act. But federal legislation trumps state anyway, to the extent of any inconsistency, so long as it's valid.
Discrimination occurs when a person is treated less favourably or not given the same opportunities as others in a similar situation because of a disability.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to throw against them as well.
The problem with that one though is you're asking to be treated differently because they're disability, not treated the same.
No, the equal part is to be served as a customer.
To be served, to not be treated disrespectfully.
That's what everyone gets.
Right?
Yeah, but again, using
I wasn't given that, all right?
Yeah.
I was harassed from the minute I walked in the door. That is discrimination.
using
Harassment or discrimination?
Harassing me is discrimination.
Okay,
Because
we're
of a
going to disagree
disability.
on that one as well, I think.
Well, how is harassment not discrimination because of a disability? All right, now under the guise of having an exemption, being where is it not stating a discrimination?
with your other phone.
What a matter of
Why don't you look up Dr. Jeanette Young, where she said just write Dr. Jeanette Young on mask exemptions. It's only like 20 seconds. And then she herself, whose directions they are, says you don't need to do this, blah, blah, blah.
Dr. Jeanette Young. Yeah, I believe that was this.
And it's not from 3 hours ago, it's from the January lockdown maybe, or a different one.
Yeah.
Just in your search bar,
Yeah.
add on mask exemptions. Mask exemptions, sorry.
Yeah, I thought we had a problem.
Here you go, I think it's that one. That one,
One's at the hospital.
I reckon.
Oh, who's that? Who's
And turn the volume up maybe.
I don't think I've got volume on this phone.
the 402 Does it? Yeah. Oh, no, they're yeah.
Do we have to know?
Told. I said there
I
wasn't.
think that's the wrong one.
I know 404 are heading up there. It's 4 to midnight. Yeah.
Set us up there and then have them release us. I was with there last night.
For the same one.
Yeah, the security.
Maybe write Dr. Jeanette Young says you don't have to show your exemptions or something to find the right video. So using a person in a wheelchair example would be like saying to someone in a wheelchair, you have to walk over there, and they're like, well, I can't. And then you're like, well, you want special treatment because you can't walk, so you can't go into my shop. So even like a lot of businesses get in trouble for not having ramps for disability access if they're over a certain revenue amount. There was a famous movie theatre in Newcastle, New South Wales, that got shut down for that. There was like a heritage type theatre, and then because they had maybe like 2 people per month that were in wheelchairs that wanted to watch the movies, then they had to spend, I think it was $80,000 or $160,000 to put in ramps. And then the business, couldn't afford that. They're only doing like $5.
Yeah, and they were there when we were there as well, so they're on.
How much did they go?
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Must have gone overtime or something.
It won't be that one. I think she was standing just like in front of a bush or something. Yeah, I might have a copy of it. Sorry, just gotta keep it still, the camera, in case something bad happens.
I think it was this one, consider.
Yeah, I'll just keep looking. Dr. Jeanette Young. Did you see the video riff? Greg Hunt also saying the other day that no one in Australia has died from COVID.
No,
It's a real
who
one.
that is.
He's a federal health minister. He said it
It's funny
on.
how no one knows federal health minister.
A video got removed, but it just was taken from the news where he said no one's died from COVID. How do I get back? Trying to think who sent me that video last, because then I'll be able to find it easier. Telegram, YouTube. So, Dr. Young. No,
Oh, that's it.
you found it, did you? Yeah, that's it.
Don't need any approach on the issues, but
So, man, this doesn't interest me at all.
well, I'm just saying, right? That's
For Queensland.
so. It's not a matter of being, what's the word, obnoxious about it. It's a matter of, like, there's facts, there's details, and yet for some reason or other people are blindly going around saying that there's a law.
These are the officers now.
Did you guys want to have a chat, or you could
Oh, we've been talking now.
Look, I just want to apologise if I was a bit pissed off and aggressive before. I just really hate being treated the way I've been treated.
Yeah, I know. I haven't treated you that way.
No, I didn't say you did, but that's why I'm apologising. Alright? Quite simply, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Alright? When I wasn't, I didn't make any
He's now saying he has a
aggressive noises towards them, I wasn't abusive towards them, and yet she's like, said I'd abused them, made all sorts of threats, which was an absolute lie. Alright?
Alright. Am I allowed to at least say your first name? Just
No,
okay.
thanks.
So you're not required here. So I'm actually going to ask you to leave.
Yeah, so I'm acting as a witness and just filming in case anything
need a
happens to.
witness. Okay, so you're no longer here unless you're a lawyer for him, representing as a legal lawyer. I don't need you present.
Yeah, but
So
he
I'm
needs
actually
me
gonna give you a
present.
move on direction. Okay, you're no longer required.
So
here,
can you
I'm
tell
gonna
me
give you a
under the move on
to
direction
move
what
away.
grounds,
Okay,
please?
so I'm conducting an investigation. I'm asking you to move on and move a fair distance away so I can conduct my investigation. Can you please?
I'll
comply
stand
and
there.
do that? Thank you very much. Just go away. My name's So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your phone in your pocket. You are under arrest. Thank you. Could you put them in your pocket?
How was I obstructing
I'm
this
just going to get you to walk over here and I will have this conversation with you down here.
business?
Okay, I'll have the conversation with you down here. Can I get you walking off here? Right, please, back.
Dad, what does it look like?
Shush, shush. Zoom in. Just film in case something happens, like if it's a violent arrest. Just stay away from me, girls. Close. Because you're too noisy. maybe, and this is just speculative, of course.
What?
Okay. If I go closer, they'll arrest me for obstruction or whatever.
You can come here though.
Yeah, well, I'm not interfering with their thing, so I've moved on a reasonable distance and they've gone over there. What? Possibly. It depends, because people can just give you a fine, or they can take you away, and they could, stick you in a watch house, prison.
What's a watch house?
The police have their own prison.
Yeah, but we left now.
You can go for one. That's why it's good you're zoomed in and just focused on there. No. So his version of the story was that he went in the shop and wanted to buy some windscreen wipers for his car, and then they said, we're not going to serve you or something because you're not wearing a mask or something. Then they said that he abused them or something, but he says he didn't, and then he's saying that they're discriminating against him based on his disabilities. And you saw what I saw, you saw what I saw, which was just him waiting here, and then the two female police officers went over, and then two men came over. Yeah, okay.
We're not so.
Okay, shush. Shush,
Like
shush,
up
shush.
here, wow.
Alright, shush, girls.
I can see the really far. Yeah.
Alright, okay, shush. Now, what'll be clever is if the police got another police car to pull up just in front of us, and as soon as they do, they go boom, boom. Just pull up in front of us, so it's a block. No, what I'm saying is as soon as the car pulls up, they hit him to the ground, taser him, whatever. But anyway, please. Okay, girls, be quiet, please.
I'm cold again. How about I plus it to you?
Shush, shush. You might get pinned down and handcuffs on him.
What's pinned down?
Like they grab him and then chuck him on the ground.
Why?
Oh, because he's waving his hands around more and speaking more loudly now. Yeah, or more assertive, whatever you want to call it. She asked, what are you filming? The lady. Oh. Huh? I think that's what she said. And you can look at their body language. Yeah, I don't know. Be quiet, girls.
COVID bullshit, so I was disturbing the peace. How's that for fucking bullshit?
Yeah, well, that's what I suggested may happen too. So you've already been discharged.
The fact is, it's fucking one-sided. They're siding with the fucking store, all right?
Yeah,
saying that,
and they're discriminating.
I stood in everyone's way and I disrupted customers. Customers had to walk around me. What a fucking load of shit. And she goes, I'll get you with the COVID thing. You've got to carry a mask with you. Fuck off. I have an exemption. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to fucking carry one. And it's just a fucking stupid suggestion.
So if you had yeah, but if you had that, if they gave you a COVID fine, it would have been.
Oh, I was hoping they would. I was hoping they'd arrest me and fine me on this COVID bullet so that that could fucking go to court as well.
Yeah, and that's like what I.
Going to investigate it further.
Yeah, and that's like what I suggested about, you know, they can get you for breach of peace, public nuisance, whatever, similar type of offences.
That's bullshit when they fucking start.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you're guilty of it. I'm just saying that they can find it.
Right. What I said was, okay, that it's bullshit on the basis that they started fucking harassing me.
Yeah.
And I said, stop harassing me or I'll call the police and I'll have you arrested. End of story. And they made a big fucking deal out of it. I went to pay for the item that I wanted to purchase, and I just got asked why I didn't pay for it. And it was because refusing, like pulling the other girl away so that I couldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Alright, so she cancelled the sale, stopped me from paying. She says to me, why didn't you pay for it? Why didn't you complete the transaction? I said, because she refused to fucking serve me. She stopped me from paying for it. Oh, well, I said, you saw the fucking video. Hang on a minute ago. I'm the one that's caused all the problems.
Yeah.
She fucking started it. Fuck off.
I do not want anyone to wear a mask if it's going to compromise them. And that is the person who needs to make that decision. People know their own health issues. So if someone does have asthma and struggles with their breathing, or chronic obstructive airways disease, or heart disease that they can't get the amount of oxygen they need, they know that. So I don't need them to go and see their doctor and have to have that conversation because they already know it. So if anyone has any problems at all breathing, they should not be wearing a mask. This is not about causing other problems. This is about preventing the spread of COVID. If someone genuinely, and they will know it themselves, believes that they have a medical condition, then that is enough for me and it is enough for everyone out there. So please, people, it's been wonderful to see people encouraging other people to wear masks. That's really good, but just be a little bit careful that there are a significant proportion of our population out there who can't wear masks safely.